Call on the bill at this stage as its movement through the House, and I want to start by recognising the very hard work that was put in by the officials of our committee and also the officials that were seconded to the committee that came and gave us great advice. Mr. Speaker, I think it's also important to recognise that actually both sides of the House during committee worked very well on this piece of legislation, and I would like to recognise that of course it was the last government, the Labor government, that did first bring this idea forward and introduce it. The very good news for the members of the New Zealand public is they're not going to have to wait 11 years until it actually enters into law. Here we have a minister who's had this portfolio for less than a month, I think, and what progress we've seen since there. It's straight into the House and will become law very, very soon. But of course it is a technical piece of legislation, Mr. Speaker, and it is important that we get it right, and I want to recognise members opposite for so graciously deciding to read the supplementary order paper today, and have decided actually it sounds like they have no difficulties or issues with it, so it's good that they are supporting this piece of legislation. I want to speak about only one part of this change in part one, Mr. Speaker, and that's around timeshare. Richard Martin from the Lake Edge Resort in Taupo made contact with me very early in the process, and of course a very hard-working, a good MP for Taupo, Louise Upston, was aware that there was a piece of legislation that could have an effect upon timeshare, and Mr. Martin made a number of concerns known to me and other members of the committee. They put in a submission, and largely the concerns were that if the residential tenant, unit titles bill was to go through in its current form and timeshare was included as part of that definition, then it would be near on impossible for timeshare resorts to make any decisions at all. Now let's think of a resort in Taupo where there are 10 units, 52 weeks per unit, 520 possible owners, and 75% quorum, Mr. Speaker, would be 375 people needing to turn up to a meeting. Well, the committee looked at this and listened to the concern, made changes, and I think this is good for business because I think that actually New Zealand and tourism could do with a bit more investment in timeshare, particularly in my electorate as well as Taupo. So, Mr. Speaker, I commend the bill. I think we've worked very well in committee, and I think once this enters into law, there will be much greater certainty around unit title developments in New Zealand. Thank you.